Hi, I am Tanisha,
And I'm Kiara.
and we have our special guest host today again, our beautiful sister Kevelyn. And you're now entering the sister chat. Welcome to Main Event Mamas.
Whoop, whoop. So we're psyched about kicking it off again with you guys this week. But before we get started, I want to remind you that this is your moment to hit that subscribe button. Because y'all know the YouTube hustle, and you want to be first to know when our episodes drop every Thursday and Friday. And then we also have special episodes, but you won't know unless you hit that subscribe button. So this is your moment. Now let's talk about our parental pinfall this week. So we have discussed many times our teenagers. And now is a big, we're in a big year for both of them. We're going to have seniors, which is, I didn't really expect that to sneak up on me, but it did. And half the time I want to cry, half the time I want to yell in glee and hallelujah and shout. And then I go back to crying. So I really don't know how I'm going to be feeling as the year progresses. How are you dealing with it, Tanisha?
Well, I mean, it's been such a struggle road with my oldest that, I didn't think he would graduate next year. But he is. And sometimes it makes me question if they're just pushing him through, just push him through, or if he is actually, doing what he needs to do. In which, I mean, definitely like switching schools have definitely helped him a lot. So his grades definitely pulled up and everything like that. So, so I also know that he is deserving of it. But I can't say I'm rejoicing. I'm a little stressed. And I can't, because I got three others, so it's not like I get to have a free house because I don't. I don't. They're already sitting here fighting over who gonna get the room, and I'm like, well, one's already in there, so I don't. My girl child's trying to have her room all to herself, and so she's been trying to been voting her little brother out the island. So
not the island.
Might as well out the island. Once Big Brother goes away, and I was like, you're also assuming that I'm sending him away, so. Anyway, so yeah, how are you feeling, Kevy? Sorry, Kevlin.
Same difference.
It is.
You're fine. It's definitely been a journey for sure. I'm excited for her, and it's nerve-wracking though, right? Because this is going to be the monumental year where we decide what happens next.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yes.
been, that's been a topic of discussion quite often. So I'm sad. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I'm sad. That's my baby, but she got to grow up too, right? So
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, okay, I didn't add that part. I am kind of sad. I don't really want, but he also didn't think he was gonna go to school, like go to college. Now he kind of changed his perspective after doing like a thing last year.
What thing did he do?
He had a scholarship. He got a scholarship to go to a summer program for animation.
Oh.
At a college in New York City, and he wants to go there. Now, it's private, so private means
Means you're going to be looking for a public alternative.
so.
That's what it means.
So but yeah. So I mean, if he does go, if we do find a way, grants and stuff, if he does go, he definitely wants to be on campus because they do have like a dorm in the city, which is weird. But because it's not connected. When you think about college, you think about everything being connected.
that right.
No,
Not at Georgia State.
Yes, I remember that. But I'm saying but when you think of like college in general, when you're thinking
Right.
about a college in a dorm that has
Yes.
a dorm, you're thinking everything is centralized.
Right.
No.
Yes.
You gotta
No.
walk up the block, to the block, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks to get here, and
Okay, yeah, no. You're right. In my first college, everything was super connected. Like, we didn't even have to go outside sometimes, especially when it snowed. That was the best possible. experience, because no one liked to be outside in the snow when I didn't even want to get up for classes at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you think I'm going to sledge through somebody's snow, that wasn't going to happen. So fortunately, my first college, it was all inside, and we just upstairs, downstairs. It's good times, good times. So anyway, as we look at that time period, it's a new phase in all of our kids' lives, and ours too. But one we're quite familiar with. I mean, we went through it, right? Like, we all at some point decided to leave the nest and kind of go different routes. So let's talk about this. We'll go around and talk. Did you go straight to a 4-year college after high school? And if not, why? Where'd you go? And your main reason for that choice. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I did go to a 4-year college right after high school. It
Wait,
was,
you did?
yes, I did.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Now, did I finish? No.
We all made choices. You know what I'm saying? We all made choices.
Well, to keep it, keep it light, obviously there was a reason I didn't finish after my first year, which we're all aware of. But our dad passed. So I left.
Oh, see, my brain went, what was the event?
That's the reason. But that year, honestly, it was a private school. I wish I had probably gone public. It might have been a little easier to stay.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a financial strain to stay, to be honest. But I mean, I loved my experience there. It was a HBCU. So that goes.
What college did you go to?
Wait.
Hampton University.
No way. I didn't know that.
I did.
I definitely did not know that. I was thinking you went to the thing that was down the street on Virginia Beach Boulevard. Was that Regency or something?
Regent? No.
Yeah.
I did not go to Regent.
That tells you. The things you don't know.
Once she said private, I said, oh, okay, she went, okay, now I remember. Then I was like, wait, she went to Hampton? I definitely did not know that she went to Hampton.
So I enjoyed myself that whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a great experience. I did end up going back later and finishing. But
really?
I
Wow, I feel like I'm just learning new things at the same time.
I cannot with her.
I didn't know. I really didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Listen, at that part in our time in our lives, I think we were having kids and stuff. I wasn't paying attention.
Well,
that's fair, because I didn't know you were in college either.
That's true.
I'm like, you acting so stoical over there. She's like, yeah. And I'm like,
but I knew she finished. Okay, I knew she finished.
I did finish. But, there was a couple of, things that happened in the meantime.
Yes.
But,
So what was your reason for going directly to college, like from school?
Honestly, it was a dream of mine to go to school. It was the wanting to, well, I'm going to be real transparent. It was the wanting to make my parents proud. It was always you got to graduate, you got to get good grades, and you got to go to college. That was like the minimum. So,
right.
It was their approval that I wanted. I did want it for myself as well, but I think that's probably a reason I didn't go to work first or, choose another option and just decided to go straight forward. That's
fair.
Yeah. Be honest.
What about you, Tanisha? What'd you do right after high school?
I went to a little community college because if it was up to me, I would have went to a 4-year college, and I would have went to Rutgers University, and I would have had a potbelly pig named Junebug. That was the thing. That's what I wanted. When I went to the tour, they was like, yeah, you can have a potbelly pig as your pet. I said, oh, well, I want a potbelly pig for my pet.
That sounds kind of fun. Now, I was like, wait, what?
Because I was going for vet. So I was going for science major. So for veterinary medicine major. So you have to do whatever class you're doing, like you have farm class and all that stuff. So once you're done you get assigned an animal. Once you're done, either you can take the animal as your pet, or it goes to a sanctuary or go somewhere else or do something else. So I was like, oh yeah, I wanna. And the person who toured us, they had a potbelly pig. So I was like, yeah, I want a potbelly pig. But the reason why that didn't happen was because of my mother. She was afraid of me going away. Because if it was that, then I would, if I didn't go to Rutgers, then I would have went with all my friends who went upstate to Morrisville. And I heard they had a time. And I'm kind of happy I didn't go, because most of them dropped out. They stayed for like a year and then they were gone. Or like they started dropping like flies because they were just having too much fun up there. And it was the fact that it was like continuation of high school. So, but that was the main reason why I did not go to a 4-year college and why I went to a community college. Now, if looking back on it, if I could change, I would not.
Whoa. We're gonna get into that in just a minute.
I thought you. Oh, okay, my bad.
No. First question. We're gonna get into the second part. Hold that thought.
Oh, okay. I thought that was still part of the question. If we could.
No.
Oh, why? Oh, why? Why did I go? Okay, sorry. Okay, so I went. So the reason why I went to school was for me, because I've always wanted to be a vet. I love animals, and they said pretty much I had good grades, but I didn't have the best grades. So to get into vet school and even try to get into a 4-year college, I needed to go to community college just to pull it up, to bring my GPA up. But yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. Well, for me, I absolutely went straight to a 4-year college. It was a private college. I would have gone to a college anyway, because honestly, I just wanted to get the hell out of my house. So whatever way I could get that done, I was sold. And as far as I could go was like, I wanted to go to NYU actually, but
yep, our dad said no.
He said I couldn't do it, and I don't know why I listened, because technically, like, I need his permission. And as a grown woman now, I've realized that I had choices, but at that time, again, I was kind of chasing the approval, and so I definitely went directly to college after high school. Now, I definitely had a roundabout experience. I stayed at that college for about 2 years, and then transferred to Georgia State, and then, completed my education there. But the reason why, I already told y'all, I was just not about staying in my house. Whatever took me out of my immediate circumstance was where I was going to head, with some immediacy. And so that was why. And I'm going to talk about the next question in a minute, but there's definitely some things I wish I would have paid attention to before I made that choice. Okay, so tell me, thinking about your own transition out of high school, what's one thing you think you would have done differently, knowing what you know now? Because, we've all lived a little. So would you have gone the same path to college or community college, or would you go somewhere different? Would you do something different? Would you take a gap year? Would you take risks? Would you travel? Like, would you work sooner? Like, what would you do?
I'll go first. I definitely would have not went to college right away. I think as I gotten older, understanding that not everybody's ready for that. Like I wasn't ready for it. It literally was like high school, just with no rules. So it was like, oh, I don't have to go to class. Like, y'all don't tell my mom I don't go to class. Like, you don't tell her. Oh, okay, cool. Like, there was plenty of times I sat downstairs and I cut class. Like, I ain't gotta go. But I definitely would have took a gap year. Me working, I always worked. So I probably would have worked for sure. But I definitely would have rathered waited at least 2 years, or maybe in my 20s, because I feel like I did better when I went back to school. But I went back to school after the oldest, and I was 24.
Okay.
24, 25. And I felt like that was my best year ever. Like, I was focused. I got a B. And I took one class, and I was like really super focused. Like, I'm gonna get this out the park. I'm gonna knock it out the park. And then because of me being married, then it became you need to stop. So I haven't finished school. So I definitely would have waited. Now, do I wish that I probably would have traveled or something, but I definitely think I should have waited, because that travels with you, especially if you're going to community college and you're trying to get into the field that I was trying to get into. Their veterinary technology program at LaGuardia is very competitive. Very, very competitive. As in, like, let's say out of the 500 applicants, only maybe 10 or
Oh
20
wow. Okay,
get
that's
in.
crazy.
Get in for that session, and you got to keep trying. And but you can have a 4.0 or like a 3.5, 3.5, like, but you need like a 4.0. So then, like, you'll get passed over for a 4.0. And then when I went back to school and went back into the program, I was like, all right, look, I pulled my GPA up and all that stuff. They was like, oh yeah, no, we still count your GPA from, I said, from over 10 years ago. You count that? Yeah. Wait, why? Like, can we redo? Like, cause like these grades are 10 times better. Like, yeah, no, it's so competitive, so we have to. And I was like, okay. So yeah, for
Was
me,
there any other school you could have gone to that was a little less competitive?
they had Suffolk Community College. I went there, but it's far out. It's all the way out on the island, like deep. And if it's snowing, yeah, nobody driving in that snow going to
That's
Long
fair.
Island.
That's fair.
um, and then there was another one I did go to when I was pregnant with the girl child, and my 10-year-old was a baby. I went to Westchester Community College, but I still had to get into the program. So I still had to like take other classes for them to accept me into the program. So it's like that's the one thing I hate about college. You have to do all these remedials to actually get into your program, or if your program is a high seeking program, let me put it that way. If it's a high seeking program, you got to do all these different things just to get in there before you actually start taking your classes and stuff
So it's
like that.
competitive, basically.
It's it's still very competitive, and I was doing good there too. But I took out a loan to pay for daycare. And with me being pregnant with the girl child, I was like, I'm not about to put myself in debt for daycare, because I literally took a loan out for $5,000 just for him to be in daycare on
I've
campus.
been there.
And that was just him for the semester. So it was literally going to be 5,000
Per
each
semester?
semester.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
it was each semester, and I went, I think, for a semester, and I was like, yeah, nah, that's a good. And I haven't gone back because that's also, that travel was deep too. If you're in traffic, that's an extra hour and a half to travel back
Wow.
and forth. So half an hour, and without traffic, it's probably like maybe 45 minutes. But you still, and then you got to pay tolls. So you're paying tolls to get all the way up,
Uh-huh.
like in Westchester County. So you have to get all the way up there. So yeah, yeah, no, I don't.
Okay. Okay. All right. Evelyn, your turn.
I actually have a different perspective. I don't think I would have gone to college right away. Um, I actually would have gotten a trade first. Um, just in my experience of going to college, getting married, and having kids, and going back to college, and then working, and realizing what works, what doesn't, and not even using my degree to some degree in the jobs that I've worked. Um, I honestly feel like the trade route is more or less the way to go, in my personal opinion. Not saying college isn't great and that you shouldn't go, or but I do think that it's highly expensive for things that you might not even decide to use later on, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of your degree. So I definitely think that going the trade route is, I would have done that, whether it be real estate, whether it be any particular trade, like whatever it is. I think that would have been a better route for me in the beginning. So.
I think that's fair.
I agree with that. That's cool.
So I'm gonna shock y'all and tell you I don't think I would have done anything different. Except that I would not have gone to that particular college. Um, from a financial perspective. From a cultural perspective, I think there was something about going to a women's college that I didn't experience throughout it was a very different experience than anything I had ever experienced in my life. There was a lot of empowerment. There was a lot of travel. There was a lot of opportunities. There were some struggles, for sure. over that 2-year course of time, but I felt like college was always where I was going to go after high school. Like, that was just the natural progression of the kind of life that I thought of. But I certainly think I would have picked a different college. I wish someone would have explained more financial things to me so that I would have understood how much money I was taking out for just those, like, 2 years. I think that was almost the entire amount of money I took out for the rest of my education for my bachelor's at Georgia State. So I was just like, I would have definitely gone to college, but I would have, because, you know, my major was journalism, right? And then my major was communications, and then it switched to journalism when I went to Georgia State, and I still kind of work pretty similarly in that kind of field. So I use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I use it every day. I've always known that was writing and researching and telling stories was always going to be part of my life. But I definitely think I would have wished I had known more about financial stuff and not had dug a hole quite that deep that early in my life. And respectfully, like, the trade stuff, I get it. And I definitely think as an adult now, I always try to emphasize to my kids, like, there are other opportunities available, especially because I've met a lot of people in the trades who are young and making great money and not worried about being replaced by AI, right? Because I think there's a lot to say for how things are changing. I was talking to somebody today, and they were saying, like, I work in marketing, and they were talking about how SEO is not just a separate job anymore. Like, they expect everybody to have a sense of SEO training. So if you're only trained in SEO, you need to go out there and figure out what else you need to be skilled up in, because everybody in the lower kind of admin or writing or those kind of roles, and I'm not saying writing is low, but I mean those entry-level jobs are being taken by AI now. So that's one thing I really encourage, like, my kids in general is, like, let's talk about what you want to do and how to make sure you're not obsolete by the time you finish your degree, because things are a little different now in that we're competing with technology. You're not just competing with other people anymore. You're competing with technology. So that's what I think. I think I still would have gone to college because that was always where I was going to end up. But I certainly would have gone to one that I could afford, truthfully, because that was not a thing I could afford. So let's talk about something else, more on the emotion side. So what was the most surprising emotion you felt when it was actually time to pick up and leave home? For the first time, or when you left independently, were you excited? Were you sad? Like, did you feel a mix of things? Like, what are the things that, like, you felt at that moment or moments?
I actually can go first. I think I was more relieved to be doing something different in terms of out of my family's house, to be honest. It's a little stressful. Uh,
So wait, you lived on campus?
mhm.
Oh, I didn't see. I definitely missed that
Yeah,
period
that's
of
what I'm
time.
saying. Okay.
Yeah.
What? You lived on campus?
You know, I had to do the whole college lifestyle at least one time.
Girl,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I got thoughts and questions.
We should have came to visit. I always wanted to see Hampton like that. I mean, what
No,
was I
it was-
thinking?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what, like, I never knew that you went to. I knew you went to college, Mr. Stop, but I didn't know you went to Hampton, and
Yeah.
I didn't know that you went right after high school because
Mhm.
you also had got. Never mind. I'm not gonna put your business out there, but
It's fine. It was after
Oh.
that though.
so it was after you got married.
No.
No, the marriage was after. Okay.
The marriage was after.
See, I'm
that 1
confusing
year.
dates and times. See,
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then, okay,
So the
wait.
marriage was after you going to Hampton.
Hampton. Yes.
Okay.
We were
okay.
dating,
That's-
but we were not married.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then still, why did we not know this?
we were super pregnant, probably.
I mean, I think we
Y'all
just
was
got
having
pregnant.
babies and stuff.
We just got pregnant when she was in school. She was in school already.
I mean, yes. And had been in school for a minute, so I'm like,
Oh, you know what? Now I know why we don't know. Because I don't think you really had a cell phone.
Did I not?
I mean, there was a lot of things happening around that time, and I don't know if we were all talking. So, you know what? That would make sense.
I mean,
as I sit here and think about it, I'm like, well, why didn't we know? And I'm like, oh, and then I know why we don't know, because we weren't really all talking at that time.
Well, everybody was in their respective lives.
Right? I was going to
you
say,
know.
I had been in college for a while. I had just moved back to Atlanta.
Yes.
Like,
Kai, I was with you when you went to Atlanta.
that's what I'm saying. I was like, I was caught up in
That's
life.
what I know, but that's what I'm talking about. As I'm sitting here thinking about the series of events, why we wouldn't have
We
known.
definitely didn't clue you into the antics that we was into. That could not have been the case.
See, I had no idea what was going on. You know, I was over there in school. You know, actually.
You know what? Well, we
doing my
don't
work.
want to speak about what happened in
Good,
Georgia.
great.
What happened in Georgia stays in Georgia.
Okay, anyway. So
Moving
you
on.
got a sense of relief, okay?
I was relieved. I was relieved. I was excited. I was nervous. Don't get me wrong now, because it was completely something new. Again, I was at a HBCU, and that was a little different, just from high school experiences, just to be real. But it was fun. It was an eye-opening experience into the culture, I guess you could say, that I wasn't really exposed to because I was real sheltered.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, very.
Wait, I can't control my face. I was like, wait.
I was like, I didn't know what that. I was like, I wish. Now that as an adult, like, I wish I had spent at least a semester or two at a HBCU, and I think, because, like, remember, like, the women's college was such an amazing experience from an empowerment point of view. I definitely made sure dudes was on my time after that. Like, it really taught you that you were the one and not the two.
Okay.
At all times.
Yeah.
But, and some people took that and some people didn't. You know, it was a lot going on in that school. But, that's the one thing I'm like, man, I wish I had done that.
Yeah.
Jeez. I think I would have got caught up in the life, though, so.
No, for real. Good times. Good times. Oh.
This is the reason why Kai could not come to NYU. The shenanigans that we did while she was in Georgia State, which actually wasn't that bad. Let me stop. It was not that bad.
In a relationship or two. We're not going to get into that. That's gonna be into the second part of today's episode.
Wait, no.
So.
I'm so sorry. Are you done telling us about your experience?
I'm good. Y'all go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I want you to finish telling us about finish telling us, why it was so exciting. Okay. I mean, because when I think about it too, I understand now why you were on dorm. Like, now everything is clicking in my head. It's like click, 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 click.
I mean, y'all were aware of, life.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It was life for everybody at that point.
I didn't go nowhere. I didn't do anything. I didn't hang out. I didn't, I was very reserved, and then getting to experience that lifestyle of being on your own, and maybe
that's
outside,
when you made a shift. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's when things started to shift for you a little bit.
Outside, this is what outside feels like,
Move on to Tanisha. Tanisha, you tell us how you felt when you got
Don't take that the wrong way, y'all. Don't. That's not what I meant.
When you finally got to break out of your experience at the homestead.
Well, I definitely should have went to a HHHH.
She definitely should have went whatever that Triple H is. She should have gone. You know what I'm saying? That was not for her. That was not for her.
Oh my god. I mean.
Not with that snort every time.
I'm
it just
so
takes
sorry.
me out.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I think because I was at home and it was just normal, it was nerve-wracking to go to school and having to, it's big buildings. It's not really a campus per se, because it's not a campus. It's just me walking up and down the street to go to each building. I definitely felt like when I moved to Virginia to go to another community college, I think it was a little bit more nerve-wracking because I was moving away from home to come. However, that was an experience too. And I felt like the closer I felt like I started living life when I came with you to Atlanta.
Listen.
Wait.
I was in school. I want to remind people
Yes, she was in
I was
school.
in school.
But I remember going to class here and there because I had nothing to do. Because
Yeah, she did.
I decided just to make it.
She
Somehow
would
I
just
went
show
to
up, and
I
I'd be
went to
like, "Yeah."
visit. I went to visit, and somehow I stayed. I don't.
That
Anyway,
was real.
I went to
A
visit,
time was
and then
had.
I went to visit. I lost one job, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then the other job was like, well, you can't. And then my car broke down, and then it was like, I can't get up there. I was trying, and I lost that job. I had two jobs, guys. So anyway, so I felt like, and then I made friends with people from Clark, Atlanta. So I got to experience a little bit of HBCU through their eyes.
Oh, we did go on their campus. I forgot about that.
Yes, we went on their campus, and I got to see what their dorm looked like.
And I learned why I was not built for the West Side.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes. Not built for the West Side.
First off, I would never understand why they have 3 prestige HBCUs in the ghetto. But you know what? It's what it is. It's what it is.
Well, my women's college was almost in the hood too. It was like on the side of the hood. I don't know why they do that. I thought it was strange myself.
But so I think for me, that was like exciting because I was able to get at least some of the experience of it, and it made me like, oh, I want to go back to school. But then I was pregnant with my oldest child, so then I kind of kicked the bucket because then I said, forget this, like pregnancy brain and fog and tiredness. Yeah, those things be happening, and you trying to do this online classes, you be like, what? Yeah, nah. You want me to do what?
Online. In person was hard.
Well, yeah, you did it in person, but I don't know. I feel like I lost the question of what we were supposed to.
Okay, what you were? I think we got the emotion you were experiencing.
Oh, okay. What was the second part of it? That was it. I'm sorry.
Was it excitement, sadness, or a mix of everything?
Oh, okay. I mean, it was a mix of everything.
Clearly.
I mean, definitely when I was in school in New York, I had my best friends. So once my best friend showed up, I think it was my second year, that was it. But I also still didn't go to class. So.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and break in here. So, I don't know.
How did you feel, Kiara? Especially, I remember.
Right. I was so thrilled that I could be, because I was away from both parents. It was like, deuces. Now, granted, it was a controlled environment. It was a women's college. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was out here. I'm not into women, so it was really easy for me to just live life there and enjoy it. So it was, I got to be independent, which I loved. I got to set my own schedule. I got to drive my roommate crazy with like cleaning up her stuff at all times. I was like, no. Learned how to hustle to get some money, because being a broke college student was everything. I feel like I learned a lot of really great lessons. And so emotionally, I felt like it was super exciting. The only thing that I hated was being broke. That was the only thing I hated as a college student. And then I worked 3 jobs at that college. Now that's when I probably picked up the overworking.
I was about to say that. I said that definitely in my head. That's when the workaholic started.
I had 3 jobs to afford that school. That's how I knew. Like, no, I should have maybe made better choices. But they were 3 good jobs. Like, one was in the study center, one was in financial aid office, and the other one was not that great. It was a telemarketer for the school to get like grants and people. And the financial aid wasn't great either, because I definitely learned like how many people were getting scholarships, and it made me feel a lot less special. Then because I did get a scholarship, but it didn't cover, all the things, which is why I had 3 jobs. So yeah, I was excited though to leave. I wasn't sad. It's like
No, I remember on orientation you was like goodbye, and I was like, yo, you saying goodbye to me? I didn't do nothing to you.
I was like, deuces to everyone, really, because I wanted to know what it was like to be on my own, because I really hadn't, right? Like, so that was it. All right. Speaking of which. This is a good segue to the next question. How much did financial considerations play a part in your decisions back then? Like, would you approach student loans or early career choices differently today? So we'll start with Kevlin again.
I would like to have some groundwork knowledge on how that works ahead of time. I would not have taken out student loans the way I did in order to go. I mean, again, private school is expensive, right? Um,
That.
and I paid for it on my own. So there was that. Um, and I did have to obviously get student loans. So if I could do things differently, hence why I said I might not have gone right away. I might have made a shift to maybe trade school or something like that, or learning a trade to be able to afford college, if that's something I truly wanted to do in the future. But that's just personally my experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wish I would have looked into grants or scholarship grants. Because I do remember when you said scholarship, I did get a scholarship to go to the University of Miami.
Really?
I did, but you want to know
That's
how?
where you should have went, because I could
No,
have
no,
came
no,
and
no,
visit.
no. I'm about to tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't go.
Oh.
I showed my mama. I said, "Hey, I got a scholarship," and she was like, "Yeah, for how much?" And I was like, "It's $1,000." And she said, "Okay, but how much is the school?" And I said, "Oh, hold on, let me find out." And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, they said it's a night." She was like, "Oh, so we have to come up with the rest?" Absolutely not. I said,
At least your mom had that
okay.
conversation with you, because I
Yeah.
don't think we had that
I mean,
conversation.
because of course, I'm like, ooh, University of Miami? Why not? Y'all get, or it was either $1,000 or $3,000, but it wasn't enough to cover the school.
Clearly
It
it was
wasn't.
not.
It wasn't enough, even with all the financial aid and all that good stuff. Because that's the other thing too. The key point. My mom had a really good job. She had a state job, so I couldn't get financial aid.
Mm.
I had to either get a loan. That was the only way I can get it. I could not get the Pell Grant because my mom made too much money and it was just me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. That's true.
So, I think so. Yeah. So I think for me, if I would have known about scholarships, like really knew about scholarships to really get the true money, or learning about the different grants that are out there that are available to us to go to school, who, like, especially if you have a major. But I also think too, um because the loan my mom took out, it wasn't that much, because community college, it's like $1,500 back then. And I so it wasn't as expensive. That's the whole point of community college. It's supposed to be not as expensive. But yeah, that's what that would be the thing. Like, that's what I'm looking for now when it comes to the oldest child. Like, looking at grants and looking at the free money we can get to be able to build for you to actually really go to the school that you really want to go to. Or I did want him to go to HBCU, because he wants to be an animator, and I'd rather you go to an HBCU that's for us versus you going to some, I don't know what they call, something's called.
Other institution?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
But you got, what would you do? What would be your difference? What would, since you said you wish you knew certain things then, how would you
All the things
learn
about
it?
financial aid. Like, I didn't, as much as I worked in the financial aid office, I didn't understand the dynamic of those things. Like, I also got a scholarship, and my scholarship was like $18,000. Like, it wasn't anything to sneeze at. And so I thought that was amazing. But of course, tuition was like 30. You know what I'm saying? And that there is where it didn't make it didn't connect. Like, my mom, I think she helped for the first couple years, but she helped for the first couple years. But I was working 3 jobs, but I was always broke. And then I had been introduced to some students who also had part-time jobs, like, outside of the school. And so I was like, I didn't have that financial foundation to understand what I was getting myself into, and that you would not be able to get out of it that easily. So that was certainly one of those things that I feel like I would have wanted to understand that a lot better. And even now, again, as we talk about sending our children to college, that was one of my first conversations. Like, okay, we're going to make sure, like, you don't find yourself in a ton of debt either. So just because you like this private school, you're probably not going to go. You know what I mean? Like, even though you're brilliant and that kid scores up the wahoo on everything, I would prefer him to pick a school that is close by and that certainly is within the affordable range. And one of the reasons we moved to the state that we did was because they offered, reduced tuition for in-state, which everyone does, but even to some degree, like, it was free. So I was like, no, if you're going to get an education, I don't want you to be in debt. Like, I'm still trying to dig out of debt from 2 degrees. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling, which is why we want to remind you, this is your moment, that if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're always about that YouTube hustle. And we would like to continue to giving you content at all times, but also to help our financial situation. The more you subscribe, the better off we will all be. I just want to point that plug out there.
Oh my God.
Just saying. I just want to be honest.
My ice. That's crazy.
I mean, let's just talk about it. And we're going to wrap this up, because I think this is a lot. We talked about a lot of things that we would do differently and reflecting on that time in our lives. But I think this is a really good way to wrap things up, right? So if there's one piece of advice you wish your parents had given you, or not given you, considering our parents, as you're preparing to leave home, what would that be?
I wish my mom would have let me go away initially. Versus being scared of the fact of me being far away, because the school I wanted to go to was just in another state, literally an hour away. So she could have just drove. But because my mom definitely regrets that. She said, what if I had let you just go? Maybe you would have been done. And I'm like, probably, but probably not. Who knows, Ma? Like
I think if you went to a school with me, you would have been done.
Well, yes, I think if we went together, or I would have been, or at least if we were in the same state, for sure. Which is why I don't know why our dad really didn't want us, because I think that would have been the best. If you wanted me to graduate.
He knew I was going to graduate either way. He was like, just to confirm.
Like, he knew you was going to graduate, but he wanted me to graduate too. But it was like a weird thing, because I feel like Dad didn't believe in me either. He was like,
really?
Yeah, not when it came to school. No, he didn't push me how he pushed y'all.
He didn't push me.
But I'm saying, like, he didn't in a way of believing. Like, he believed in y'all, but he didn't believe in me like that.
That's an interesting conversation.
Because even when I moved to Virginia to go to school down there, yes, Dad would kind of like tell me certain things, but I used to do homework with Kevy. I used to be like sitting at the table doing homework with Kevy, because I needed someone else to be there with me while I was doing work. And then once they didn't have school and I was going to school while they weren't in school,
it was hard.
It was like I had to go to the library. I kept trying to find study groups. I kept trying to do certain things, because the best thing for me to be motivated is for other people to be around me doing the same thing.
That is really, like, that's interesting to me, because I didn't know that. You definitely should have gone to school with me, girl.
I was not going to that old girls' school, girl.
You didn't want that.
Okay.
We're still boys. Okay, listen here. All girls school does not mean no boys, because we ran into boys. There was an all boys school not far away. Right. There was the Walmart. There was, the nightlife. They just wasn't in my immediate vicinity, and I was okay with that choice, because it wasn't my number one interest at that time. But again, I also think that cultivated a different lifestyle choice for me, and where I felt relationships fell in the course of importance, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, success and relationships can come a little bit,
But I feel like that was always you, so that worked in your favor, because that was always who you were as a person. You took your studies seriously. You did all these different things to that level. So, like I said, I wish. I know for me, what I'm telling my son is something that I feel like they should have told us. Is, like I said, let's look for grants, but also, I'm not pushing him into going to school right now just because of the experience, because also a lot of people just go to school just because that's the next step, right? You graduate and that's the next step. You're going to college, and either you know what you want to do or you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely for me, I feel like the one piece of advice I wish my parents had given me was to get and do something uncomfortable. I feel like, unfortunately, it's easy to just fall into things that we feel comfortable and that, I think will make you feel safe and secure. I really wish I had been braver to do something that maybe I wouldn't necessarily get a chance to do later in life, but without, you don't really know that at the time. So there's a few things I wish, like, I tried some different things, or I did get to travel some, so that was great, but just, do something that made you a little bit more uncomfortable, not knowing that, a few years later I would have a kid and suddenly be kind of stationary for a bit and not have that opportunity until later on. So that's what I kind of wish. And with that, I think that we've had a great session where we got a chance to really talk about the things that we would have done differently, and be able to look back at our lives and the choices and the opportunities that we had, and even some revelations we were not prepared to face even today. And with that, I want to remind you that this is your opportunity to make sure you follow it. This is my third reminder, y'all, so I know y'all got this. Y'all can hit that bell and hit the subscribe button to make sure that you're first to see our content on YouTube, where you'll likely be viewing this, or on, your other platforms. We also remind you that you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on our various, on X,
Twitter.
on X, and all of our
Threads.
various threads. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And our various social media platforms. We're almost on most all of them. And with that, Tanisha, can you tell them where they can listen to our podcast?
Absolutely. So that you can definitely hear us on iHeartRadio, on Pocket Podcasts, on Amazon Music, on Amazon Audible. Ooh, hey, I did that real good. About time. Anyway, and definitely you can hear us on Spotify and watch us on Spotify as well. And also you can follow us individually on Instagram. So you can follow me, Tanisha _ Mama Pod, or you can follow my beautiful chocolate drop co-host, Kiara Mama Pod. And when we're ready, we'll let you know when you can follow our sister Kevlin.
Right. We're not ready for that yet. And we want to thank Kevlin for being here with us
Absolutely.
today. And we also want to remind you that you can visit us at maineventmamaspodcast.com, where you can find all of our content. You can leave us a voicemail. You can join our mailing list. You can see all the videos that may not be on your exclusive channels. Lots of content there for you guys to check out. And we're launching a blog this week. So in case you missed it, there will be a blog post out this week too. So with that, I want to say we're not new to this.
We're so true to this.
And this was Main Event Mamas.